Welcome everybody to Mexico for the 2024 Mexican Grand Prix in Mexico City. Of course, we are going to get ourselves underway to find out the starting grid then for today's race. Here we go. How has Sergio Perez done, I wonder, for the home crowd? Well, Charles Leclerc back-to-back pole positions and against Max Verstappen on the front row by 23 thousandths of a second of 13.822 was the pole time. Norris and Russell on the second row with Sainz and Piastri next to them. We got Hamilton and Alonso 7th and 8th with Stroll and Gasly just making up the top 10. Albon 11th, Ocon 12th, Magnussen with Perez down in 14th. How likely is that going to be? Heuskinveld and then Lawson with Bottas and Joe Tsunoda and Colapinto. And of course my Andretti team at the back of the grid. Okay, well, let's find out who the podium is made up of. It looks like it's going to be a strong result for the Red Bull team. And I imagine that is going to be world champion Max Verstappen on the top step. And indeed it is. Looks like we've got Ferrari in P3. And is that also going to be a Ferrari in P2 as well. This would virtually seal the championship, of course. Full Simply Lovely swagger mode engaged. Oh no, it was in fact Lando Norris who got himself into second position on the podium. Looks like a problem for Charles Leclerc then, with Sainz coming in up and picking up another podium this year. So champagne time for Red Bull, unless so a smaller bottle for McLaren and Ferrari respectively. We'll be seeing something similar on a race day. So the full results for the Grand Prix: Max Verstappen winning with a total time of 96 minutes 11 seconds and picking up the full points. Of course, we have Lando Norris in second position with Carlos Sainz in third, as we saw. Then comes Piastri. Again, that'll be good for McLaren in the constructors to outscore our Red Bull team, with George Russell and Charles Leclerc down from first position down to 6th overall. Then Alonso, Gasly, Albon and Magnussen making out the top 10 and scoring, with of course Yuki Tsunoda, Nico Hulkenberg, Jaganu, Bottas, Ocon, Lawson, Colapinto rounding out the top scores. Brendon Leigh finished the race for me and Andretti with Lance Stroll. Hamilton, a double DNF with the fastest lap as well, but a back-to-back DNF for Hamilton. I don't think that has ever happened in the history of his F1 career. Perez also DNF, disappointing the home fans. And would we see, whisper it, a retirement announcement if that were to be the case? Let's have a look then at the standings for our mini championship so far. And that was just the second half of the season. With that leaves Verstappen and Leclerc on equal score and head and shoulders ahead of Sainz and Norris, Piastri and Russell respectively. 48 points ahead of third place with joint position for Verstappen and Leclerc. Red Bull in second place overall to Ferrari, with McLaren scoring 130. This is just in our little second half of the season predictions championship, of course. Let's have a look at the strategies as well. No incidents apparently, just straightforward DNFs for the three drivers that failed to finish. Medium to hard tyre, medium to hard worked for Carlos Sainz and several others. But a mix of 1 and 2 stop. 2 sets of hards for both Bottas and Ocon. Didn't seem to lift them particularly high in the order, and clearly it was Perez out in the first stint, Hamilton and Stroll out in the second stint overall. Let's see if that bears any relation to reality when we get into the overall race. All right, so let's have a quick look at the replay of the first lap. Let's go racing in Mexico. It's drop the clutch and go, with Leclerc pulling away quite nicely from the start. How aggressive will he have to be up against Verstappen, who gets the inside line immediately? And it's Norris with a great tow as they temporarily go 3 wide to head into the first corner. Side by side, will Leclerc be able to hang it on into the switchback phase? He will, but Verstappen actually leaving room on the edge of the racetrack, and that's uncharacteristic, certainly. So that first lap, it looks like Leclerc managing to hang on here. I don't think that will be the case if Verstappen can get himself onto the front row of the grid. Looks like both Mercedes side by side through the first phase of the race, with Hamilton getting the nod ahead of Russell and Piastri moving up ahead of Alonso as well. Leclerc leading Verstappen then as they head into the next switchback section of the track, and we go into the Yahoo fast phase and head down towards that baseball stadium, the Foro del Sol, as we head into that stadium section right now. Nobody making major moves as we run through the order down into that big stop through to the final part of the first lap. And will anybody be losing traction on the exit of what is a very slow, very low grip corner, the final corner through Peraltada and out, and it looks like everybody away fairly well, but I would anticipate, of course, one of the longest straights of the year. DRS is going to be huge this weekend.